as an Indian American, what is it really like today to be in Trump's America? And I understand that, on the coast, on the East Coast, or, as part of what Trump might call the DC elite, you may not feel something personally. But these horrific videos coming out of Minneapolis, for example, the entire sort of overarching power to ICE agents, the fact that fewer students from India are now looking at the United States as an option, the whole sort of fight over visas and H-1B visas and green cards, there's a sense that there's quite a real possibility of the kind of racism that Indian migrants last probably experienced in the 1970s. So I just want to ask you, does it feel real, or is it more exaggerated on social media?
It does feel real. Not to me personally. You're exactly right. I live in fortunate circumstances, both geographically, but also the kinds of people I associate with. It obviously doesn't come up, but broader culturally, what you see on television, what you see in social media, and these are real things. They're not just things. Not just. I don't mean comments on Twitter. I mean, there's a temple being built in a suburb, and all of a sudden there's a huge opposition to it, because why the hell do we have these crazy Indians coming in with their weird religion? Why, things like that, which you had never seen before. In fact, you had seen to a large extent a kind of lovely acceptance of the idea of this is diversity, this enriches us. I feel like the mood in general is so different from the mood when I came to America. When I came to America, there was people didn't know much about a place like India, but they were very interested and curious, and they loved the fact that you liked America and wanted to live there. There was a deep sense that immigration was strengthening the country. Ronald Reagan, the most conservative Republican figure, really, of the last 40 years pre-Trump, he was overtly pro-immigrant. In fact, you could argue he was more pro-immigrant than the Democrats. He was the one who did the big amnesty of illegal immigrants. That was the America I sort of entered. And now, it's one where there's a lot of nasty talk about immigrants. There's a lot of demeaning of but also in particular, a real kind of celebration of the idea that there is some original pre-immigrant culture in the United States that should be celebrated, that should be venerated. And a lot of it will be, talks about explicitly about being white or being Christian. And these were things you never saw. So there is I've talked about this in my last book. We're living in an age of backlash. And part of that backlash is a kind of cultural nostalgia for a pre-multicultural politics, a pre-multicultural society. And that, I think, is going to be with us for the foreseeable future, not just in the United States, but in the Western world in general.